hello Saturnians. So today I have two new tarot decks. One is the Ethereal Visions Tarot, and it was my subscriber Landon who sent me an Amazon gift card, and then I got this deck. I've been willing to get this deck for a couple of years now. It is so beautiful and I've always wanted it. So thank you so much, Landon. Landon is also a Reiki practitioner. So if you ever need Reiki healing sessions, he can do that from a distance and you just need to write him an email. So I'm going to leave his email down below in the description box. Can you see how my nail polish matches the back of the cards? My other subscriber, Shoebox of Angels, who's an artist, told me that he likes this color. So this is for you, Shoebox of Angels, if you're watching this. By the way, check out his channel because he has some wonderful paintings. And since we're talking about art and artists, this deck is inspired by the Art Nouveau movement. So the images in this deck, they follow the Rider-Waite system, but they are Art Nouveau inspired. So there is a certain softness and classical beauty to these cards that I really, really adore. Art Nouveau is one of my favorite art styles, so of course this deck speaks to me. It's very comfortable, very familiar, and very, aesthetically pleasing for me. Look, this Hierophant, so beautiful. It's for me important that I can see the symbols in the cards, and this deck does it for me, so that's why I really, really wanted it. Two of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, okay. The second deck is the Muse Tarot, and I bought this one using a gift card as well because I won Amethyst Ascension's giveaway, and I used the gift card to buy this tarot deck. The interesting thing about this deck is that when the indie version came out and I watched flip-throughs on YouTube, I decided that I did not want this deck, that I would not be able to work with it. Because even though I love the artwork, I think the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. When I first saw the flip-throughs, I realized that because there are only women in this deck, I cannot really see the yin and yang aspects of the cards. And this is something important for me when I am reading tarot. Yin and yang aspects, they play a role in the way that I interpret the cards. So I thought to myself that I would not be able to work with this deck. So I quickly decided that I did not want it. But then later on, I saw Ikale Sunflower's flip through of the mass market edition. And I was really in love with the artwork, even though I was still thinking at that time that I could not work with this deck. So when I won Amethyst Ascension's giveaway, I decided to challenge myself and get myself a deck that I thought I would not be able to work with and see what happens. Okay, so I got this deck, and here is the interesting thing, and that's why I wanted to do this video with these two decks together, because these two decks, they have opposite energies for me. While the Ethereal Visions Tarot is a deck that I've always wanted, that I think it's gorgeous and beautiful, and that I'm very comfortable working with this deck because the symbolism is so readable for me. And the Muse Tarot is the opposite, is a deck that is going to present a challenge for me. So my subscriber Landon sent me a deck interview spread that he likes. And I thought that it would be an interesting experiment to try this interview spread with these two different decks. And let's see how my views on each deck reflect or impact the interview spread. Like, what is my subconscious mind telling me about the images that I see in these cards? I think it's going to be a very interesting experiment because I have different views on each of these decks. So let's see what happens. I'll start with the Ethereal Visions Tarot. All right, so the first card is What Are You Here to Teach Me? The Empress. Right, okay, so the Empress is a Venusian card. It's all about beauty. And just before I was talking how this deck is aesthetically pleasing for me. So this is a deck that is going to teach me true beauty, true art, right? Okay, I get it. Second card and third card are how do you see yourself and how do you see me? This one is how do you see me? How do you see yourself? Ten of Cups, right? This is about abundance. This is about pleasure. This is a deck that I'm going to use for pleasure because it's going to give me the sense of abundance, of happiness. This is not a deck for shadow work or for, exploring the darkest aspects of my personality. How do you see me? As the Eight of Pentacles. Makes sense because I am a Virgo lady and the Eight of Pentacles is associated with Sun in Virgo. Attention for details, working hard, studying the meanings. As I said before, I'm not really an intuitive reader. So this card makes sense, I guess. Okay, card number 4 is how can I best work with you? Let's see. The Sun. Okay, so because this deck is very familiar to me and the symbolism is easy for me to read, and there is not really a challenge like the Muse Tarot, all I need to do is shine my light. There is no struggle here, right? I can just express myself freely when reading with these cards because there is no challenge, no struggle. Everything is aligned with my personality. That's so interesting. Okay, next card is what is your strength and then what is your weakness? Three of Pentacles. Interesting because it goes with the Eight of Pentacles here, right? So the Three of Pentacles is about teamwork. I can see how I could use this deck for clients because it would please other people as well. And the symbolism in this deck is clear enough for me to read for other people. Weaknesses? All right. I saw it coming. I saw that coming. Just before I was saying how I want yin and yang symbolism in my decks. And the limitation here is the King of Wands, because even though there are men in this tarot deck, this is not a fire deck. This is not a yang deck. It's a yin deck. So this deck is already teaching me something. It is already teaching me something. Right. What's the possible outcome of our time together? Is the last card. Six of Pentacles. Yes, Yes, okay, so I can use this deck to read for other people and for paid readings. This is a deck that is going to bring me abundance because 10 of Cups, money because I can do paid readings with that. And it goes well with the Empress and with the 10 of Cups. Right. Okay, I got it. Landon, I love this deck. Thank you so much for sending me the Amazon gift card. Much appreciated. Yes, I love this deck. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. I wonder what the Muse Tarot is going to be all about. Look, this sun card. So beautiful. Okay, I understood the message here. And now let's do the same with the Muse Tarot. And I suspect it's going to be a completely different outcome here. Let's see. All right, so card number 1 is, what are you here to teach me? Let's see. 7 of Voices. It's the 7 of Swords in this deck. Right. This is about trickery or being sneaky. Maybe. Okay, so this deck appears to be tricky to me because the symbolism is off. However, I think what this card is trying to tell me is that I have to look beyond to find the meaning. Okay, this other card is, how do you see yourself? Again, there is an aspect here of illusion, trickery. Okay, yeah, this is looking through the trickery, being able to discern. How do you see me? What? Is that a prank? That's the Eight of Pentacles again. All these decks see me as an Eight of Pentacles kind of person. Maybe that's because I see myself as the Eight of Pentacles. Yes, that makes sense. Right. Okay. I understand. I am the Eight of Pentacles. I have to look beyond the obvious and tell the difference here. So let's see how can we best work together. Ace of Inspiration is the Ace of Wands. Right. Right. Okay, there is a spark here. And the Ace of Wands is about looking at things from the perspective of the wand suit. It's not the intellect that is going to tell me what this is all about in this deck. And I can see this is a fire deck. I always assign an element to a deck. This is a fire deck. Your strength is the Queen of Wands. I understand. Yeah. All right, I got it. I have this all figured out because I was complaining that this deck did have no men, but this deck is more yang than the other deck that has men in it. What are your limitations? Page of Voices. Right, and that girl here is me trying to make sense intellectually of everything in Eight of Pentacles kind of fashion. But this is not this deck's limitation. This is my limitation. because I will need something extra to understand these cards. Maybe this deck cannot satisfy my intellect, symbolically speaking, but the key here is the Queen of Wands, the Ace of Wands, right? What's the potential outcome of our time together? Ace of Voices. I will come up with a new something. Is that an owl? Yes, that's an owl. Okay, maybe I should try Vivi Varen's barn owl spread of, reconciling the opposites. Because last time I did this, the cards called me out. Vivi, if you're watching this, I am going to try that spread again with this deck. All right. At the end, by doing this, I will find intellectual pleasure in this deck as well, because I'll have come up with something new, a new way of interpreting the cards. Thank you, I understand it. You see, this deck for me, even though there are no men in this deck is more yang than the other deck. So I already learned something new here. I don't need male or female symbols. Okay, I understand. Amethyst Ascension, thank you so much for this giveaway. Thanks to you, I bought this deck. That was interesting, wasn't it? Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.